I'm Michael Usher.
I'm Alison Langdon.
I'm Charles Wood.
I'm Tara Brown.
And I'm Liz Hayes. Those stories tonight on 60 Minutes.
It's been going on for thousands of years, but it's still controversial. I'm talking about male circumcision. Not only is it contentious, it's confusing. Depending on who you speak to, rates of circumcision in Australia are both rising and falling. It's either a life or death decision or a complete waste of time. The only certainty in this debate, it's sure to raise hackles.
Maybe you can roll over. You're gonna roll over the camera?
He doesn't know it yet, but today's a very big day for 15-week-old Liam O'Loughlin and his doting parents, Jen and Chris.
Come on, let's have a look. Let's have a look.
They've decided to circumcise their child, a choice the majority of Australian parents don't make because it's long been considered medically unnecessary.
Hey, buddy.
Aren't you strong? We love our child very much, and we would never do anything to hurt him. We've made this decision because we feel it's in the best interest of our child, Liam's health now and in the future.
Yeah, I guess we sort of see it as another form of vaccination, I guess.
Opponents of circumcision say if it isn't broken, don't fix it.
Pretty hard to keep it on. Oh, what's your...
And in Liam's case, everything's working perfectly.
You couldn't have timed that any better.
That was good, buddy.
That's good.
Is that to get Mum back for this, eh? Okay, if you hold his legs.
Yep.
And so now they're doing their best to ensure Liam doesn't feel any pain by starting to apply anaesthetic cream an hour before the procedure.
Just cut some of the end off so it's not so long.
Yeah, just be careful with the scissors. Scissors that close to...
The fact that a parent believes that they're doing the right thing for a child doesn't mean that what they're doing is the right thing.
So, simple question, simple answer. Circumcision, yes or no?
Definitely yes.
No matter the medical advice, there is fierce debate over circumcision, to snip or not to snip. And the only thing Professor Brian Morris and barrister Paul Mason agree on is that they will never agree.
The evidence is very strongly in favour.
I think it's barbaric because it is unnecessary.
Really, for parents, it's a no-brainer these days.
On the contrary, more than anything, it's confusing. While the current medical advice here is don't bother, there has been a slight shift in thinking in America. The influential Academy of Paediatrics now says the health benefits outweigh the risks of the procedure, but not enough to recommend routine circumcision. Back here, pro-circumcisers are claiming that small shift as proof circumcision is a medical necessity. Do you think parents who don't have their boys circumcised are bad parents?
If a parent decides not to have their boy circumcised, that is their decision, as long as they know the consequences of that. And if they don't have their boy circumcised, certainly that boy and his future sexual partners will be at increased risk of all sorts of diseases. Some minor, some major, including penile cancer, possibly prostate cancer, and even deaths.
There is zero evidence, and there is not one single study in history that demonstrates that circumcising a baby has any effect on his future propensity for contracting or not contracting any disease. It just doesn't happen.
But Queenslanders Jen and Chris are not reassured. So, as circumcision hasn't been automatically offered in hospitals since the 1990s, they've brought Liam to this nondescript surgery in Brisbane.
Good morning. Liam, how did you get on with the cream? Yeah.
And with more than 30,000 circumcisions under his belt,
Good morning, Chris.
there is no one better equipped than Dr. Terry Russell to do the job.
Oh, no screaming. Be good. You're all right.
Hey, buddy.
You're good. Oh, you're okay.
In their heads, Chris and Jen believe this is the right thing to do. But in their hearts, it's an anxious time. They're not allowed in with their son, and nor are we.
He shouldn't feel anything. He shouldn't remember anything. So yeah, hopefully it's just goes on without a hitch.
Logically, there should be no argument. But what we've got in the case of circumcision is all of the hot buttons in one. We've got genitalia, we've got infants, we've got disease, and we've got surgery. In fact, the other one for some people is religion.
While circumcision is a personal and often difficult choice for parents, most doctors say it's not needed. Professor Morris from Sydney University thinks differently. He'd like to see every baby boy born in Australia routinely circumcised. Why not wait? Why not let parents let their children make the choice?
It's crazy stuff. You don't start educating children once they decide that they want to be educated. I've got kids, I know all these sort of issues. Parents have got the responsibility to ensure what's best for their children.
It denies the right of the child the opportunity of having the body that they were born with. And if they want to change that body when they're grown up, great, go ahead.
May I ask, are you circumcised?
No, I'm not.
Are you circumcised?
Indeed, like most males born in the 1950s, I am circumcised.
Circumcised men accept their body as normal, and if you suggest to them that it's not, which statistically it isn't, then they need to defend that position.
But not Elwyn Moyer. As a baby, he was circumcised. At 4, he realised a small part of him was missing, and since then he's lived with a huge sense of loss.
I felt that I'd been interfered with or robbed in some way. Just that realisation that there were parts I didn't have, and I wanted to have the whole set.
So what was the impact?
I experienced it quite a lot as anger, this sort of brewing anger, resentment, even rage.